Let me tell you why you actually need to start taking things personally. Now, this is not to say that you have to be offended by every single thing that's not even aimed at you. We're not talking about assuming that people mean this. We're not talking about projecting onto other people and justifying ourselves in our self-righteousness. We are not talking about those erratic behaviors, okay? What I mean by taking things personally is that in the context of having a personal relationship with somebody, you're allowed to have expectations and you're allowed to have standards. And of course, these things should be communicated. At the core of your relationships, especially if these are close relationships and these are people that claim to care about you and vice versa, at the very core, there should be values of respect and trust and accountability. And when these things are in place, you need to be more responsible about your actions and your words that you share with the other person. I mean, maybe it's time that you start thinking about what a relationship actually is. And we're not just talking about romantic relationships, but a relationship in general. What constitutes a relationship for you, especially a safe relationship? Oh, and by the way, if you need help figuring that part out, I actually have a workbook for you can try here. We talk about the safe things. You can grab a copy of this from my shop. Anyways, when you have your standards put in place in your relationships and these people do things that cross the line, that do things that hurt you or hurt your feelings or that are detrimental to your directions in life, you do need to take them seriously. Because this is how you stay vetting people. This is also a process of you honoring yourself. Yes, of course you value these people. Of course you want to have harmonious relationships. Of course you love them. So of course you want to keep them in your life. But at what point are you willing to start questioning these people's motives? At what point are you willing to hold these people accountable if they keep hurting you? I already said you have to be able to communicate these things because that's how boundaries are placed and how boundaries are understood. So if these so-called friends or your loved ones keep acting or talking to you in ways that cross the line with you, that violate your boundaries, then you have to take it personally. You have to take it personally because they don't really take your feelings or take your state of mind or take your wishes into consideration, and that is selfish. Again, you have to be self-aware enough to practice this effectively because you can't control the way people talk. So we're not talking about controlling people's behaviors on their own. We're not talking about controlling their personality. We're talking about the conversations. We're talking about personal relationship. We're actually talking about the engagement you have with this person. We're talking about how they engage with you, and you have to be self-aware enough to question yourself as well as question them. And of course, this is going to be a mutual effort. The goal, by the way, the goal of this is not to change this person. It's not to have them morph into the version that you need them to be. It's more about you figuring out what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Because figuring out the compatibility with somebody is not about demonizing one or the other. It's really about give and take. What are you able to compromise on and what are you not?